Welcome back everyone, it's Eric from Rare Candy. Here today we are back with another entry into our testing round series, continuing our look at some new sword and shield decks. So I know we took a little bit of a week off to start talking about a little expanded stuff for Dallas, but you know, we're back on track with sword and shield content, and today we're going to be taking a look at Snorlax VMAX and Cinderace. So in this video here, we have Richard Stevens. He is a local player from my area. He was nice enough to help me record this video. He's going to be playing the new Snorlax VMAX, and over on the right you have yours truly, and I'm going to be playing the new Cinderace. So we have a 3-prize deck versus a 1-prize deck. We'll have to see how it's going to pan out ultimately here. If I remember correctly, I think Richard is going first in this game, if my memory does serve me correct here. So one thing to keep in mind too is that we are playing by the new first turn rules. If you guys did miss it, there was a recent announcement confirming the first turn rules are going to meet up with Japan's, where the player going first now cannot play a supporter, in addition to not being able to attack either. So let's see. Looks like Richard is going to get to go first. He's starting with a Porygon. So this is kind of a more unique take on the Snorlax VMAX card. This was an idea we mentioned in our recent set review, so I want to kind of explore that. It seemed pretty fun. It's going to be based around Porygon Z and things like recycle energies, as you can see here. And so it looks like he's just going to attach the Porygon Pass. So unfortunately, you can really see where the first turn rules are coming back to bite him, where he can't play that Lily in his hand. Luckily for him, though, my deck really can't do much on the first turn as far as attacking, so this Porygon is definitely going to be safe. So here my start is looking pretty good. I start with that first turn Lily. Looks like I have Quick Ball in my hand as well, so I can find myself a Score Bunny as well if I do choose to. So here I'm just using Stellar Wish. Gonna grab myself another Lily, I guess, for the following turn. And here I'm gonna play a Quick Ball, so let's see what I'm gonna get rid of here. Gonna get rid of a Pokemon Communication. Okay, so here I'm going to get myself a Score Bunny down. So I think maybe in hindsight, I think I would have rather have seen myself retreat into this other Jirachi before committing to the Quick Ball, because I need a way to get energy into the discard pile. So I'm really looking for Giant Hearth here. And here, yeah, I find it. So you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. I think maybe I may have like messed it up a little bit. Oh, but I have never mind. I have Cinccino in hand, so that's, I guess, how I'm going to get energy in discard pile. So here it looks like I'm debating discarding this switch off of Giant Hearth. So I'm going to do that. This does put me at risk at not being able to retreat this Jirachi, but if it does wake up, I can actually just manually retreat it. So the big thing with Cinderace is it attacks for 3 energy, 2 fire, and a colorless. And whenever it becomes your active with its ability, you get 2 fire energy from discard and attach it to him. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm trying to get fire energy into the discard pile. So let's see what Richard's going to do. He does have, looks like he has the Rare Candy Porygon Z actually. So that's definitely good. He can help play down his hand a little bit for this Lily. So he does have access to my Giant Hearth, so he could even discard another card from his hand if he wants to play his hand down to draw some more cards here. So it looks like he's going to discard a Lily with that Giant Hearth and then just go for... well, first he's going to shuffle his deck because he did technically use the Giant Hearth to discard one of the Lilies in his hand. So basically he wants to find himself probably maybe an energy to retreat this Porygon and a Snorlax. And unfortunately nothing like that in sight. So here's just going to play an Evolution Incense, I guess, just to thin a card out of his deck. Now he does have a Cynthia in hand, so I almost kind of want to see him save the Evolution Incense and not use it. It's more likely he's just going to shuffle whatever he gets right back into his deck, but here he's going to grab himself a Snorlax VMAX, but again, he needs Snorlax V first before he can get that VMAX in play. So unfortunately, Richard kind of struggling here, not having the best first turn. Both these decks are stage 2 decks, but as you can see, he's kind of getting the stage 2 hands with Porygon Z over there, whereas my deck's pretty much coming alive here. So as you can see, I'm getting Cinderace into play, going to get a fire energy out of my deck. And I did not notice if I rolled for sleep or not, but that is pretty relevant. I'm assuming I did. I got a little carried away commentating there, guys. I didn't pay attention if I did. So I'm just going to assume we rolled for sleep and that I stayed asleep here. So basically I need to find myself a skateboard or a switch. One of each are gone already, but I should have 3 more switching out in my deck total. So I can dig a little bit deep on this turn. You know, I had my supporter for turn, but also I have Cinccino. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's a new Stage 1 Pokemon. Has just the old ability that Zoroark GX had, where you discard a card from your hand, draw 2 cards, and then we have this Jirachi as well. So let's see. And unfortunately, I do whiff the switching out. So yeah, maybe I got a little bit greedy discarding that switch on my last turn. So here it looks like I'm just going to grab myself a rare candy. So a little bit rough there. Now, the good thing is, I mean, I'm still having a really solid setup so far. So even if Richard does get something in play, you know, I'm still pretty far ahead as far as getting my board set up ready to go. But definitely a missed opportunity just to like have the game wrapped up right there. So let's see what Richard can get off of this Cynthia for 6. So again, no doubt, looking for a Snorlax V, an energy to retreat this Porygon, and probably a Pokemon to sacrifice in the active spot. And that is rough. Yet again, no basic Pokemon in sight. So here I'm going to go for a rare candy, getting out another Cinderace into play. Here I have a Giant Bomb. I'm going to get that down. Looks like discarding a Giant Hearth, I guess just to thin some cards out of my deck before I go for a Cynthia. Or is that a Lily in my hand? Okay, gonna go for a Cynthia. So off of this supporter, plus the Cinccino, plus the Jirachi, I should be able to find myself a switching out here. So nothing there, unfortunately. But I do get myself down another Raboot. I'm going to discard a Communication, draw 2 more cards with Cinccino, and then we use this Jirachi. Let's see. And the last card is going to be an Escape Board. So we finally got there. So at this point, I can retreat the Jirachi for free into the Cinderace and take a knockout. So you can see Richard's hand, you know, plenty of good cards, just he needs basic Pokemon to be able to use them. So definitely an unfortunate game for Richard, but you guys know how we do in these testing rounds videos. We're going to do a best out of 3. So Richard definitely has a chance to bring it back and win games 2 and 3. You know, it really couldn't go much worse for him in these next 2 games. So I'd imagine we'll probably see him have a better setup in these other ones. And yet again, my opening hand really good. I have 2 Jirachis and a Scorbunny, it appears. So I mean that's really solid. Just debating on what I want to get down, but here I'm going to get down all 3 basics. So it looks like Richard's going to start with a Snorlax V. He was not able to get that down last game. So here he's going to attach a buff padding. That's going to be really helpful because buff padding is going to increase his HP by 50 if he has a 4 retreat cost. So that will help Snorlax and Snorlax VMAX. So here he's going to play a quick ball, probably going to grab himself a Porygon. You know, trying to get that stage 2 in play as quick as possible. And really beyond that, Richard really doesn't need too much on turn 1 with this deck, which is kind of nice. And it looks like he's kind of debating what he wants to do there, but he might be debating if he wants to play this Evolution Incense in his hand. I think that's a consideration. So he's going to do that. Let's see what he's going to grab. I guess just preemptively trying to thin a card out of his deck here. So he's going to go for Porygon Z. So I think I would have liked to have seen him save that till next turn, because if he top decks a Porygon Z, he would ideally like to just play the Evolution Incense and fail it to draw more cards with Lily. So not a huge thing, but I think I would have rather have seen him wait on the Evolution Incense that turn. So here I'm just going to go for a Communication, getting this Ditto down preemptively. I'm eventually probably going to have to evolve through a Ditto to get a Raboot into play at some point, and you know, first turn, I'm really not in any rush to attack or anything since, you know, Scorbunny doesn't do much damage. So here, I'm just going to take my time. Next turn, I can Rare Candy into a Cinderace. I can also Manu Evolve into a Raboot as well. So basically, I always just want one Scorbunny down. I want always one Rare Candy target in play if I'm going to also have a Ditto. So yeah, my start pretty good so far. Really not too much else I would like other than maybe Energy. I'd like to get an attachment down here. I'm going to go for a switch, so probably just hunting for Giant Hearth. I think that's really the big card I want to see early on here. So here I'm just going to grab myself a Lily. Not what I was looking for, but guys, I mean, still a pretty decent little start for the Cinderace deck here. Looks like Richard's hand is going to be pretty good on his next turn as well. He has Snorlax VMAX and a triple acceleration energy as well. So yeah, just a pass over to Richard. And he top decks a Snorlax V, that's pretty good. So Snorlax VMAX, if you guys aren't too familiar with, it's one of the new VMAX Pokemon. Has just one attack for 3 colorless. It does 60 plus 30 more for every Pokemon on your bench. So if you have a full bench, you can do 210 with this thing. And with the buff padding, that's going to increase its HP from 340 all the way up to 390. And so here, Richard's having a really solid turn. He's getting out Cramorant V, that could be good at some point. Chaotic Swell is going to prevent me from getting on Giant Heart, that's really big. And Triple Acceleration Energy is pretty cool in this deck too, because you can accelerate it with Porygon Z, but also if Richard has a turn like the one he just had where he whiffs the rare candy, he still has an out to attack in the same turn with the Triple Acceleration Energies. So here it looks like I'm going to grab a Giant Bomb off of Stellar Wish. So that tells me I'm probably going to play that Rosa in my hand if that is the case. So let's see what I'm going to do here. I will get a basic energy, but then Rosa also allows you to grab a trainer card and a Pokemon. So here looks like I'm just thinking about getting down another Score Bunny potentially. So just going to go ahead and grab the Fire Energy just because I have to grab that no matter what. But from there, just trying to think what else do I want. Looks like I'm debating for the Score Bunny. And what else? Looks like I'm thinking about a Quick Ball as well, maybe just to get the Fire Energy in the discard pile. But if I don't have an additional energy, I don't think it's really important necessarily to get it in the discard this turn. Looks like I'm going to go for an Escape Roar. Okay, because I'm pretty sure I actually do have another Jirachi in hand here. So I'm probably just going to retreat, do that, and try to find another card in the process. So more than likely, you know, I'm probably not going to attack with Cinderace. Like, I could have grabbed Rare Candy Cinderace with the Rosa, but I had no way at getting 2 energies in discard and an attachment on the Cinderace. So I'm just taking my time this turn. Saying, you know what, I'm just going to, like, set up my board, make sure I have a lot of basics that I can evolve and play for future turns. And it looks like I'm going to get a Giant Hearth off of that Star Wish just to bump that Chaotic Swell as soon as possible. And hopefully next turn I can get down a Giant Hearth to actually get some energy out of my deck. So that Giant Hearth, the Chaotic Swell on Richard's turn, actually really big there. Because I think I actually probably could have gotten the attack off. So here I'm going to just evolve into a Raboot, get down a manual attachment this turn, and just pass from there. So a decent turn if I'm not going to get an attack off. I think I still had a solid turn setting up a little bit more. So Richard, going on to his turn, he's getting down another Porygon, it looks like. And it looks like he's going to attach a Recycle Energy and go for a Marnie. Okay, so actually not a big fan of the Recycle Energy attachment. I think I would have liked to have seen him put that back on the bottom of his deck and go for another Triple Acceleration Energy potentially. Luckily, he didn't draw one, so it wound up not being impactful, but I think I would have liked to have seen him keep that option open. But here he's just going to pass back over to me. Definitely a fan of that. So let's see what I'm going to do in response. I'm going to need another switching option to move this Jirachi if I do want to get off an attack. So it looks like I'm thinking about grabbing a Rare Candy. And I think this was the turn. I remember we had one game where I didn't catch this until I started editing some of this footage, after the fact. But there was a game, I think this is the one where I, Rare Candy and evolve a Raboot in the Cinderace. Okay, maybe it's my next turn, but I'm pretty sure it was this game too, so it's probably coming up. So if that does happen, guys, and you see it, my bad. Something we just didn't catch at the time. But here, unfortunately, not a lot going on from my end here. Just taking a turn just to get some more Pokemon, in play, evolve a little bit more. But next turn, I really do need a response here because I really don't want to give Richard time to get these Snorlaxes set up. They are going to have to take a pretty big beating to get knocked out, so I really just need to not whiff a turn of putting on pressure. So here he's going to get down an Oranguru. That's definitely a really cool card I've been enjoying from Sword and Shield. Has an ability, you replace one card in hand with the top card of your deck. So, you know, Snorlax needs more Pokemon to be sitting on the bench anyways. May as well have one that has a good ability. So here, just a pass from Richard as well. That's definitely really nice. That is one thing I do have going for me. Richard also has been whiffing the Porygon Z, so he's just been having to get down these manual recycle energy attachments. So here I do finally get a switching option. Gonna switch into this other Jirachi that I have. Looks like I'm immediately gonna go for a Stellar Wish after I, you know, shuffle up. So let's see what I'm going to do. Really need a way to attack this turn. I do find myself a Cynthia. Yeah, and here, this is the turn. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I guess maybe for a second I thought I was going to evolve this other Scorbunny into the Cinderace. I have no idea, guys. Brain fart in the moment. So, yeah. Definitely not that great. I think in terms of winning or losing, I don't think the rare candy matters, though. Just because I've already evolved manually through 2 different Raboots. So, I mean, it's really, I have 3 other rare candies. I'm not going to run out. But here, this is unfortunately a turn where it looks like I may have whiffed away at getting another energy into the discard pile. So, yeah, this is just really not what I like to see. I really can't afford to give the Snorlax deck this many turns to get going. Now, granted, Richard's in a similar boat, but Richard plays a good bit of healing and damage, you know, reducing cards. Or I guess buff padding isn't damage reducing, but it makes it harder to get knockouts. So I just need to put on pressure, overwhelm him with pressure before he gets set up and his deck kind of finds its rhythm here. So no matter what, though, he is going to be able to attack with this Snorlax VMAX this turn. He did find a 3rd recycle energy. So here he's going to use that Oranguru. Going to put a Hyper Potion back on top deck. Doesn't find what he needs, but no big deal. He can still just take a knockout with the Snorlax VMAX. Gonna knock out this Jirachi. And so no matter what, though, I can also attack this turn. I finally found my manual attachments as well. You know, normally both these decks have ways to cheat energies in play, but we both had to just take our time with manual attachments the past few turns. So I'm going to be looking for Giant Bomb. That's the big card, and it looks like I do get it this turn. That's really good. I think the other card I need is Quick Ball, and I do get that as well. So Quick Ball, really good in particular to find myself a Mew, just because, and I do think I changed this if I remember correctly, because I realized like halfway through shuffling, I was like, wait, should probably get Mew instead. Just because Cramorant V, it's a new card that is actually pretty good against the Cinderace deck. It has 200 HP, so it can't be one-shot, and its attack can snipe the bench. So the Cramorant V, it's like 3 colorless energy, 160 to one of your opponent's Pokemon discard all energy, but with Porygon Z, you discard those energies, get them right back, and keep on attacking. So definitely important getting down this Mew. Gonna force Richard to attack into this Giant Bomb if he does want to one-hit KO my Cinderace, of course. So it looks like Richard's finally going to find himself a Porygon Z. His deck is finally going to be able to kind of find its natural rhythm here as well. So if you guys aren't familiar with Porygon Z, it's a Stage 2 Pokemon. And much like the Blastoise cards or the Emboar cards of the past, where you accelerate as many cards as you want, you accelerate any number of special energy cards as you want from your hand. So here you can kind of see the Wombo combo. He's using Hyper Potion. It discards 2 energies to heal 120, but since they're recycling energies, you get them back to your hand, and Porygon Z can just throw them right back down to ensure that you can keep on attacking. So here he's going to also get down Draw Energy. Another special energy Porygon can accelerate and draws him an additional card in the process. So you guys know Stage 2 decks can be a little bit clunky sometimes, so it's nice being able to have an energy that can also increase your consistency as well. So here it looks like Richard's going to use that Oranguru here, finds himself an Evolution Incense, and probably just going to attack. So yeah, definitely a good turn for Richard. He is going to take 100 damage from this Giant Bomb, but it doesn't make too much of a difference in terms of the math here. So because of that buff padding, he's actually not going to be knocked out by my Cinderace. So if he didn't have that buff padding, the Giant Bomb actually would have been really good. So you guys can see the Giant Bomb card, I actually really have been liking. It's better against the tag team decks in terms of the math. Just because Cinderace hits 190, Giant Bomb is going to do 10 more damage counters. So it's fantastic against the tag teams. Kind of awkward here against some of these new VMAXs, but the buff padding still, or the Giant Bomb is still good because buff padding puts you just 10 damage shy of a 2-shot. So buff padding, or I'm sorry, Giant Bomb still changes your attacks from being a 3-shot to a 2-shot. So it still has some value here against Snorlax. So I do find myself a Giant Bomb, but I need, okay, and I do have a Fire Energy already, it appears. So what do I want to get down this turn? Maybe a Cinccino, that could be an option. Just trying to think, I guess, what I want to do. I guess I'm going to go for a Stellar Wish here before deciding on playing anything else out of my hand. So what am I going to go with here? Looks like I am a bit conflicted. Gonna find myself a Reset Stamp and just gonna go ahead and play it here. Trying to think if there's a specific reason I went for the Reset Stamp this turn as opposed to next turn, or like any of the following turns. I guess just trying to keep the healing options away from Richard here. And so going to retreat into this Cinderace, and of course that ability is going to allow me to get 2 Fire Energies from discard and attach them to Cinderace, you know, powering up this guy. Now, one thing I'm going to want to do at some point is find myself my Recycle Energy. That will also help me keep this loop going, because when Cinderace gets knocked out, you get Recycle Energy back, and then 2 Fire Energies from discard every time you use its ability. So that's the next thing I'm going to be looking for here. So I'm going to do 190 to this other, or to the Snorlax V. Unfortunately, it is hanging on for dear life here. I think it has 30 HP left, if I remember correctly. So let's see what Richard is going to do. He does find himself a Cynthia, so the Reset Stamp doesn't stick, unfortunately, but you know, nevertheless, still limited Richard's options a little bit. So let's see what he can find off of the Cynthia. I think he's going to be looking for healing cards or just another energy. Oh, I remember. Yeah, I went for the Reset Stamp because if it stuck and Richard didn't have another energy, he actually wouldn't be able to have retreated this turn. Now I remember. So unfortunately, the Reset Stamp didn't stick, like I said, and he does find the energy to retreat, because if he was forced to attack with that Snorlax, it would have been knocked out going back into my turn, and then I could attack something fresh on my turn as well. So that was a pretty big draw off of the Reset Stamp. And here you can see he's loaded up this this other fresh Snorlax VMAX in the active spot. Gonna take a knockout, going down to 2 prizes. So, you know, Richard's in a really good spot here. He really just needs healing cards to kind of carry him through the rest of the game. And even if he doesn't, he can actually just cycle between these 3 and 2 prize Pokemon. Like if he ever wants to force me into knocking out 3 Pokemon, he can just go in with Cramorant V eventually. So I am gonna get a Cynthia here off of this Stellar Wish. And it looks like I'm going to go for a Fishing Rod. And okay, yeah, this was a game. I do remember I prized 2 of my Cinderace here, and so I needed to get 2 of those back. So I'm going to immediately Evolution Incense one of them, go for a Rare Candy. Also get 2 Fire Energy back in my deck because I don't have an energy to attack just yet. So here I really need to find myself an energy. I have 2 Fire Energy and my Recycle Energy in deck, so I need to be able to get those out. So I imagine we'll probably see myself just play this Quick Ball. So gonna grab myself maybe a Minccino. I think actually in hindsight, I think I should have gotten rid of the Cinccino in my hand, because I could have played down the Scorbunny and kept that from being in my deck. Because now I'm shuffling back in the Cinccino, you know, making my deck a little less consistent. So just hopefully I don't draw back into the Cinccino and whiff the energy. That would be bad. Because that other card could have been an additional card for my deck. So let's see. I just need an energy here. Ideally a Giant Bomb if I can find one as well. As you guys can see, I drew back into the Cinccino, so that is definitely rough. I understand why I went for it though, just because I don't need more than 2 Scorbunnies at this point. But I think the important thing this turn was to hit an energy to make sure I don't fall behind. But to be honest, I mean, even if I had the attack, I'm honestly not sure if I still would win this game though, just because inevitably Richard's going to be able to use some more healing cards. Inevitably he can just retreat into this Cramorant V, and force me into an 8 prize game with that. So here, I'm still going to play it out though, just trying to take a look, see if there's any hope for my deck here. Now you can see how low my deck is, so that was a big whiff this turn. And just a pass back over to Richard, so let's see what he's going to do. I imagine he has game from here. He's going to go down to 1 prize, and there's no way I can take 2 knockouts with the time that I have left in this game here. So yeah, just going to knock out the Jirachi, and looks like I'm still going to play it out. I have a giant bomb, that's nice. And I am going to go for a Stellar Wish. Going to play the Rosa just to grab an energy out of deck here. And a Giant Hearth. The trainer card doesn't really matter too much. So, I mean, I can still, like, if I want to, I could take 3 prizes with Mew, but that still doesn't really do anything in the grand scheme. So, yeah, it's going to be game. As you can see, I'm just going to scoop it up. Going to go to a game 3. So, the Snorlax deck kind of brought it back this time. You know, after that pretty clunky game 1. It actually put in a good bit of work this game. You know, I think I had too many turns of whiffing an attack to really stay competitive there. So between whiffing the 2 attacks at the beginning of the game and at the end there, just kind of a, you know, I think allowed Richard enough time to really get set up without too much pressure. So of course we're going to go for a game 3, guys. Really could be anyone's game at this point. Both decks were going back and forth pretty well there. I think a lot of it's just going to come down to which deck can find their stage 2 first. You know, can Richard find his healing cards when he needs them? Can I find my giant bombs when I need them? Those are going to be, I think, the big key things that are going to kind of determine which way this last game might go here. So here it looks like I'm going to draw for Mulligan. And I do get to draw for turn as well. So pretty decent start for my deck. I've been very fortunate enough to start with Jirachi and a Score Bunny every game. And let's see. So here I do contemplate putting down the Minccino because I don't know if Cinccino is in my deck. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see if I can get a Quick Ball or something like that to search my deck, or like a Giant Hearth. And then I can decide if I want to actually get down the Cinccino or Minccino. That way, because if it's not in deck, I can prioritize something else on my bench. But here I said, you know what? It's fine. We're going to take the chance and just pass over to Richard from here. So let's see what he's going to do. He did start with a Porygon Z, or I'm sorry, Porygon. Though he did have a Porygon Z in hand as well. So here he's going to go for a communication, getting down a Snorlax V. So it looks like he's just taking a peek through his deck, just seeing what he has access to here. And I believe he had a Cynthia in hand, so no doubt we'll see him play a supporter here and try to get set up a little bit more, try to find some other basics. And yeah, just going to go for a Cynthia. So I think the big thing you might be looking for is an energy to use Quick Draw on Porygon. I definitely want to see that out of his deck here. Probably find another Porygon just in case this one gets knocked out. Porygon energy, and I think maybe a supporter for the following turn. And looks like he has a draw energy. I like that. So he's going to get that down, draw 1 more card, gets a Snorlax V in the process, and he can use Quick Draw again to get another card. So draw energy, putting in a little bit of work here. So here it looks like I'm going to attach to this Score Bunny, go for an Evolution Incense, and I'm pretty sure I remember this is where I see Cinccino is in deck. So yeah, a little bit risky putting down the Minccino without having knowledge of what was in my deck first, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Maybe we can draw out of the prizes. We'll have to wait and see here. And ideally, if I can get myself the Rare Candy Cinderace combo, that would be good. But here it looks like I'm eyeing myself down a Raboot. So if that's the case, I must be kind of saying, you know what? Based on my hand, I'm not sure if I can find all of the pieces needed, because I would need to find, off of the Cynthia, Rare Candy Cinderace, a way to get an energy into the discard pile, an energy attachment, and a switching option. It's a lot to ask off of 6 cards. So here, gonna find myself Giant Hearth, Score Bunny as well. So here I'm gonna go for Stellar Wish first before committing to doing anything else. And just trying to think what route I want to go here. So I'm gonna go for a Quick Ball. Now, am I going to play the Giant Hearth this turn? And if so, what do I discard? I'd imagine maybe the Quick Ball. It depends on what else is in my hand. I don't want to get rid of Recycle Energy. I think I had Fishing Rod in there. Don't want to get rid of that. Don't really want to get rid of Scorbunny either. Have Rare Candy, so yeah, just kind of an awkward hand in terms of discards. So here I'm just going to pass over to Richard for the moment. And so he is going to get down that Oranguru. And what else is he going to do here? I think he has a Marnie in hand, if I see correctly. So here he's going to go for an Oranguru, putting a card back on top of his deck. Drawing a Snorlax V. I'm not really sure if he needs 3 Snorlax V on his bench. I mean, he could get it down, but... So here we're going to see a Recycle Energy. And interesting, he doesn't play the Marnie in his hand. I'm really not a big fan of that play. Because you have a supporter and you don't have what you need, so you play a supporter to draw the cards that you need. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that at all. Because Richard could have put that triple acceleration energy that was in his hand on top of his deck, play Marnie, and if he found himself a Snorlax VMAX, he could have actually attacked this turn and got a knockout. So yeah, not a big fan of that line of play. But here I'm going to get down at Recycle Energy. Going to go for a Stellar Wish here. Going to go for a Lily as well. So let's see what I might do. Definitely going to play down the Giant Hearth. Probably will wait to use it until after the Lily if I had to guess. Going to get down a Scorbunny as well. Okay, and I do have a Rare Candy. Oh, but I'm just going to manually evolve this one Cinderace first. So let's see. Do I have a way to attack here? That's the big thing. So here I'm going to go for a Stellar Wish. And going to get rid of Lily with Giant Hearth here. Now, did I find a switching method and a way to get an energy in the discard pile? That's the next line of business. So, yeah, I have the Quick Ball, but yeah, unfortunately, I have no switching out in this hand, so that's actually really rough. So this would have been, I think, a really huge turn, being able to knock out this Porygon if I was able to do so. So I'm going to get down another Rare Candy Cinderace. I'm still having a decent turn despite not attacking. Setting up pretty well, but I think it would have been huge to knock out this Porygon, taking away Richard's Energy Accelerator here. And I think it would have been really big as well, because if I could have ever forced, taken out a 1 prizer, getting down to 5 prizes, that really limits Richard's options for forcing like a 7 or 8 prize game at that point. So here, Richard starts to attach a triple acceleration energy, then he remembers, oh wait, can only work on evolution. So here, before he's going to back up a little bit. We don't mind each other taking back like kind of minor plays like this. This was Richard's also first day of playing this deck. He was nice enough to kind of help me record this, so he didn't have too much practice in with this deck despite a couple practice games before recording. So he's still getting a feel for everything here. So here he's going to go for that Oranguru. And he does get a Snorlax VMAX. That's what he likes to see. Now he can actually get down this triple acceleration energy. So I want to see him do that, and I want to see him use this Marnie here. I really do. So Marnie, it's a new supporter from Sword and Shield. Both players shuffle their hands and put them at the bottom of each of their decks. You draw 5, your opponent draws 4. So again, really just not sure why he's not playing that. Because then he could maybe find himself a Porygon Z, maybe some healing stuff. So here, this turn, looks like I'm committing the energy to the Jirachi. I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to guarantee this attack. We're just going to manually retreat this thing and get the energy out of the discard pile and attach to Cinderace. So my deck finally is starting to put on some pressure. Have 3 Cinderace in play. We got the Giant Bomb. We have the Mew, so he can't play around it with Cramorant. So definitely a good turn for my deck here. So let's see what route Richard is going to go this turn. He definitely needs to play that Marnie this turn no matter what, I think. So he does have no triple acceleration energy. That is good. That's definitely good. He has Marnie. I do want to see him play it here. He's going to go for that Oranguru. Gets a Quick Ball, so that could also be good. I wouldn't mind seeing him discard something. Or even just get down another Snorlax V to ensure the knockout this turn. So here he is going to go for the Marnie. And so Richard's going to get a new hand of 5. I'm going to get a new hand of 4 here. So let's see what I can get. Well, unfortunately, my hand is pretty bad after that Marnie. And does Richard have what he needs here? Here's going to go for 2 Evolution Incense. I don't think I saw a rare candy. I could be mistaken, though. So here's going to get a Snorlax VMAX, and let's see what the other card, probably a Porygon Z, I'd imagine, but here's going to go for just another Snorlax VMAX. Is a Porygon Z already in his hand? That might be the case if he's choosing to go for these instead. Yeah, okay, he does have a Porygon in hand, that's fine. Here he's going to get down Chaotic Swell, and take a knockout on the Cinderace, taking 10 damage counters in the process. So the big thing, I just have to find a switching card this turn, because Cinderace's ability only works when it is on your bench and becomes your active during your turn, not in between turns. So let's see, it looks like I'm going to promote this Jirachi here. And let's see what direction I'm going to go with this. I do have a quick ball, just thinking, is there anything I want to discard to play it? So it looks like I am going to discard a Fire Energy. That's fine. Going to grab myself another Jirachi here. I think maybe I would have liked... Okay, so I'm going to discard that Jirachi as well, just because I don't need that many. Because this deck plays, or this list plays 4, so I'm never going to need all of them. Just trying to thin as many cards out of my deck as possible before I go for this Star Wish. Now, I think maybe in hindsight, I should have actually gone for a Ditto here. Yeah, because if I have a switch, I was just going to switch into Cinderace no matter what. Okay, but I am going to get down a Score Bunny. Okay, so I like that instead of getting down a Jirachi. So this turn, we actually can take a knockout on Snorlax VMAX. And do I get a Giant Bomb? That's the other big card I think I really want to see here. But unfortunately, I don't have access to that. So that would be one nice thing, to be able to take a knockout, and then on Richard's next turn, he takes damage in the process, you know, setting up a KO for my deck. But nevertheless, I can draw 3 prizes, pull ahead. If I remember correctly, yeah, I don't see a Cinccino. That's another big bummer because my hand still isn't that great. And right now I just have that Minccino on the bench, just taking up space, not really doing much. So let's see what Richard is going to do here. Looks like he's thinking about promoting the Porygon. I think that's okay if he wants to go that route. If I knock out a 1 prizer, it doesn't do too much for me in terms of winning or losing, unless he ever benches Dedenne GX. So he's going to get down a Recycle Energy. He has another Snorlax VMAX, I believe, in his hand. And he has Porygon Z. So if he can hit a rare candy off of this Lily, that's definitely going to be really good. Because he can Lily, and then he can also use a Ranger after the fact and check an additional card. And I don't see a rare candy, but he has that Ranger, so let's see what he can get here. And he does get the rare candy, so you can see a Ranger putting in work. Sometimes being able to check 1 card deeper is really impactful. So here he's going to go rare candy. And let's see. He has a bunch of Recycle Energies. But he needs another basic to get down here. Otherwise, he's not going to take a knockout on the Cinderace. So, but I think he has a Draw Energy in his hand. So, I think I would have liked to have seen that come down as well, potentially. And I think we were maybe talking about that. I don't really remember here too much. But here's just going to hit my Snorlax, or I'm sorry, he's going to hit my Cinderace for 150, so not taking a knockout. So not a huge thing that I actually whiffed the Giant Bomb. And here you can see I almost evolved into a Raboot, but the reason I kind of held back from doing so is because I've already evolved through 1 Raboot. I'm probably going to have to evolve a Ditto Prism Star at some point in this game, and I'm going to have to manually evolve if I want to do that. So I can't really afford to manually evolve another Score Bunny here. So I'm just going to retreat, do another 190 to the Snorlax, putting on some pressure. The Richard did find his third Snorlax VMAX, so he can cycle between these two different cards. And here he's going to attach a memory energy, but fun fact guys, I did not have my fourth draw energy on me at the time when we recorded this, so I had to use a memory energy. So if you do see this memory energy, it's literally just a proxy for a draw energy. Sorry about that. So let's see what Richard is going to be able to do here. He's going to get down a draw energy on this other Snorlax VMAX. Does find Cramorant. That's also a pretty good attacker. We'll have to see if that comes into play at all. Here he's going to use that Oranguru to look at the top card of his deck. And he gets a Hyper Potion. That's really good. So of course he can discard 2 Recycle Energies, then just slap them right back down with Porygon Z and keep attacking with Snorlax VMAX. Alright, so Richard's going to tie up the game. And we'll have to see what I'm going to do here. Looks like I'm going to play Giant Hearth, just discarding the Chaotic Swell from play. So let's see what route I'm going to go here. So it looks like I'm going to grab a rare candy. Thinking about getting another Cinderace into play. Like a fresh one. I guess just taking a peek. I think I have Fishing Rod in hand, so I might be thinking, is there anything I want to get back? That is going to be an option as well. And it looks like this turn I'm going to... Okay, I'm shuffling up for the Stellar Wish before playing the rare candy. And I do need to go for the communication to get the Cinderace first, so I actually should have held on to that rare candy for another minute here. I need to be careful that doesn't get kind of lost in the shuffle as I'm like deciding what I want to do with my turn. But yeah, that rare candy shouldn't come down until I actually evolve the Cinderace, so we need to keep track of that, make sure I didn't actually mess up in that regard. So here I'm thinking about getting down Jirachi, but I really want to see that other space be saved for Ditto Prism Star. And you guys can see I'm a little bit conflicted as to what I want to do here. And here I do get back the rare candy just to make sure it, like I said, it doesn't just go into the discard unnecessarily like in that earlier game. And here I am going to get down Jirachi. I really actually don't like this. So here I am going to find, looks like a Cynthia. I guess I was looking for a Cynthia here in particular. But yeah, I'm really not a big fan of that. I think I would have liked to have seen myself just... or maybe I was thinking I want to find myself a Giant Bomb if that's the case. But... So I guess that's what I'm thinking. And now I can go for Cynthia and try to find myself a Giant Bomb in the process. So yeah, I really don't like having this Jirachi. Now I think actually maybe I should have just attacked with the damaged Cinderace, because like no matter what, I feel like Richard's just gonna retreat this Snorlax VMAX anyways, I guess. But yeah, I think this is like a weird spot for my deck. Especially since I didn't get the Giant Bomb, that really makes attacking with this Cinderace really bad, because if I'm not going to use Giant Bomb, the damaged Cinderace would have been better because it only has 20 HP, and Giant Bomb only activates when you do 180 or more. So yeah, I think that, I don't know, maybe I messed up this turn to some degree. And let's see what Richard's going to do. Does find himself some healing cards that can be good. He has a draw energy in his hand. He can't get that down just to draw an additional card. He has a Hyper Potion, so he can start healing off maybe this damaged Snorlax VMAX potentially. We'll have to see what route he's going to go here. But even if he doesn't heal this the damage roll on the bench, not a big deal, because I have no gusting options in my deck other than Great Catcher, so it's actually just fine to kind of chill back there. So here it looks like he's going to attach Triple Acceleration, or he was thinking about it. But here he's just going to attack, knock out the Cinderace. And so yeah, now I'm in a bad spot because I have to attack with the Cinderace that Giant Bomb will activate for. And now at the same time, if I get down Ditto this turn, it actually can't evolve into a Cinderace on the following turn. So I actually think I probably messed up my last turn to some degree. I really think that bench spot that became that second Jirachi should have been Ditto Prism Star. Or another Score Bunny, of course, if I had access to that as well. So here it looks like I'm going to go for Fishing Rod, Raboot, and a Fire Energy off of the Rosa here. So I guess there is a consideration for attacking with Mew this turn. That could have been good. So here I'm going to go for, it looks like, a Fishing Rod to get back. Okay, getting back a Score Bunny. Okay, so that's fine. So I can Rare Candy into that one next turn. So I think maybe in hindsight I could have just used Mew here to attack. I think that maybe would have been... Well, no, because Mew actually wouldn't take a knockout on the Snorlax. Or wait, how much damage is on the bench one? It's 2... Looks like 2... Okay, no, it's only at 260, never mind. So I wouldn't be able to actually knock that one out. So nevertheless, though, I am going to go for Reset Stamp. Get down a Giant Bomb on this thing. But again, I think it's a really bad play attacking. Well, actually, I guess maybe it doesn't matter too much. Just because, like, once Richard is on his last prize, Giant Bomb doesn't really matter as much. I mean, I guess it does, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't either. So we'll have to see what all is going to happen here. And it looks like Richard just has a Cynthia Rare Candy, great catcher. Probably see him just... Okay, it looks like he's going to change a card in his hand first. Not a big fan of that. Maybe he was hoping to hit another Porygon Z to be able to burn that Rare Candy in his hand. But generally speaking, I like seeing the Oranguru come down, or see the ability of it used after your supportive return. Just because after you replace a card in your hand with your top deck and you play Cynthia, you're just shuffling that card back in. And you might just draw back into it. But here it looks like Richard is going to find himself Hyper Potion. So yeah, basically went for the Reset Stamp this turn just because... just to try to limit his healing a little bit. Normally, I actually would want to save Reset Stamp, but the only way Reset Stamp would be good for the rest of this game is if Richard attacked with Cramorant V and went down to one prize. That's the only area where Reset Stamp is good, but I don't even think Richard would do that just because I had this Porygon, or he had this Porygon play. It can knock out the Cinderace, and here he's going to retreat into Cramorant V, probably just saying, you know what, I saw you've burned your Reset Stamp, so there's no way my energy is in danger, because that would have helped me win if he took a knockout and then I stamped him down to 1 and making sure he had no energy in play. So that could have been good, but yeah, Richard saw already burned my Reset Stamp, so his energy is in no danger here. So here, I'm just going to go for a Cynthia, refreshing my hand to 6, and I think it's pretty much game. You know, the Cramorant, it can't be one-shotted by Cinderace, which is a bit of a bummer. I can't bring up the Snorlax VMAX, so I think all of the healing from the Snorlax VMAX deck, the huge HP, I think just kind of edged itself out here a little bit and carried it across the finish line. Because I really don't think I have any other potential outs here. At this point. So here I'll still play it out a little bit. We can get 2 energies on the Cinderace, do 190 to the Cramorant. Unfortunately, it does have 200 HP, which is a bit of a bummer, but yeah, that's just how it goes. So here you can just retreat, knock me out with a Snorlax VMAX, and that is going to be the game. Snorlax VMAX is going to take the dub in this best of 3 series against Cinderace. So overall though, I still think this was a pretty cool series that we had here, and there's a lot of cool interactions with both decks, like with things like Giant Bomb and the Hyper Potion Recycle Energy combo. So overall, I hope you guys still enjoyed this video, and of course, if you guys do want to see the deck profiles for both these decks, they will be posted in the description whenever they do go live. But if you guys did enjoy this video, of course, feel free to like and subscribe, and consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or by picking up some merch from our online store, rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.